Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing Magic, and Mysticism, here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. Well, today I'm going to be talking about amulets and talismans in a general sense, but specifically I'm going to be talking briefly about St. Expedite talismans and amulets for magical life. So, before we begin, I just want to remind you that I am offering continuously new attunements to my attunement Etsy store. So, if you are interested in leveling up your life of channeling energy of gods, goddesses, angels, spirits, demons of all different types of flavors in order to bring about your goals, then check out my Etsy store. I just put Marie Laveau out, the voodoo priestess of New Orleans, put that attunement out recently. So check that out. All right. So, and please hit that like button and please subscribe and like as always. Now on to today's video. All right. So what is an amulet and what is a talisman? Let's start from kind of a definition point of view. So when we're talking about talismans, we are talking about something that, and I'll give you the original definition that I learned decades ago, and that would be that talismans are created and that they contain symbols and they are something to be charged with spiritual energy. And when you combine a lot of these different things, including if you were to do a metal, for example, is it made out of iron or is it made of gold or whatever? A talisman is something that is created from different elements in order to create a magical effect. Okay, so when we're talking about amulets, amulets back in the day were just thought to be natural. It's kind of a natural substance that has an inherent magical power. So, for example, what would be an example of an amulet? The perfect example might be in a rabbit's foot. And I believe it's the rabbit foot should be on the left side, I think on the back specifically. Another thing would be, I guess nowadays people are using various curios, so you like a gator's claw or hand in order to attract luck or money. There's something about that tends to work in order to attract good luck as an amulet or to repel evil. Now, that part of the definition seems to be consistent, and that is an amulet's used to for protection or dispel evil and attract good luck. A talisman is used for a lot of different purposes. Now, what gets confusing, and you'll see people define it different ways. Some people will say that an amulet can be created out of non-natural materials and vice versa with talismans. In fact, I have an extensive library of occult books. I was going by and looking at a book that was, I mean, at least 30 years old, and they said the exact opposite. They said a talisman was something that was like the rabbit's foot or the alligator hand, and the amulet was the opposite. So keep in mind, if you're doing research on this and it seems that no one can agree on that part of it, fine, most people are using the terms interchangeably. So try not to get too caught up in that. The question is, what are you doing it for? What is its function? And you can use that to distinguish whether it's an amulet or a talisman, if you like. So let's say, as an example of a talisman, let's say you bought a piece of jewelry and it had the forward-looking symbol for Jupiter, right? You might get it in gold because that gold is a good color or even metal for money. You might not even want to spend several $100s. You might want to get kind of gold plated to at least some sense of gold on it. And then you took it, you brought it into your altar room. You evoked Jupiter, and you call down the energy, and you put it into the uh, to the piece of jewelry in a very I guess simple sense. That is what a talisman is. Talisman comes from the Greek word telia, which means to consecrate. So in talismans, the consecration is, I guess if you were to put the level of priority, it would be the top priority, because it's supposed to be giving the talisman, 80-90% of its power. The symbols are important. Maybe the metal is important. The inscriptions and the symbols on there are important, but the actual charging of it is what's the most important. And like I said, don't get too wrapped up into amulets and talismans as far as man-made or non-man-made. In fact, one of the books that I mentioned, the one from like 30 years ago, actually started calling it tamulets, combining talismans and amulets. So you don't have to go back and forth and worry about these semantics. So how would you go ahead and design your own talisman? I will use something that is very popular that most people would be interested in. Because when you go through and you look at hoodoo, you look at um, a lot of other magical systems, even Catholicism, Saint Expedite comes to the top as far as popularity. In fact, the Saint Expedite video that I did, the first one, is the most popular out of all of the videos. Part of that is because people are following the tradition of Saint Expedite. They are saying their prayers, lighting their candles, petitioning him, and then when he comes through, then they go into my video and they thank him, and that's part of it. Public proclamation is a form of offering, along with hopefully they're doing some type of dessert like pound cake, which is traditional. But that's kind of neither here nor there. So Saint Expedite. So let's say that you bought like a small Saint Expedite medallion from like a Catholic store. Because a lot of times you can buy like they're really kind of small like this. Of various saints, Saint Anthony, Saint Christopher. You can get Saint Expedite also. And it can look as fancy as you want it to be, as clear as you need it to be. So you have that, okay? Now here's the thing about talismans. It is, there's a school of thought that says that it all should be made. But not everybody has the tools or even the patience to learn and work with metal and work with wood and all of these other types of things, getting engraving guns and all of that. So just starting from the premise that this is something that you would buy. So the medallion will, for the sake of argument, has a picture of Saint Expedite on it. You want something representing him, like a figure, an image, and you take that, and it, like I said, it could be gold if this is something you're using for prosperity. Then it could be gold plated, like I mentioned. So you have those two things. And what you're going to want to do at that time, and with talismans, you can go as deep as you want to do. If you want to go and look up the astrological planetary hours, you may. It's going to be for Mercury. That's what's associated with him. Also, you could even know not go that deep. You can just start on a Wednesday. Why Mercury, Mark? Mercury, because his name is Saint Expedite. That means that he can work quickly. And Mercury is the Greek god, excuse me, the Roman god that is one that works quickly, swiftly, the messenger of the gods. So associated with Mercury, Wednesday, that's when you would do your work. So let's say you did that. At that point, you'd say your prayers to Saint Expedite, which includes your request. You can light candles and make it as elaborate as you like. His candle is usually red. I have a 7-day Saint Expedite candle behind me on my altar. Say your prayers. You can ask Saint Expedite to bless the medallion for the purposes, and you can state your purposes. You can ask Saint Expedite to work with you so that you can channel his energy if you want to lay your hands over the medallion. You want to try do the symbol of manifestation and power. You can infuse it with a triangle, like doing your hands like this, and channel that into your medallion. And when it seems charged, when it seems right, then you'd stop, thank Saint Expedite, and you can take that, put it on a necklace, cord, chain, and wear it when you want. Or you can take that and put it within a mojo bag. A mojo bag contains a lot of different materials, and in a way it's considered both an amulet and a talisman at the same time. You can carry that with you. What these things do, amulet and talismans, what they do is they offer something physical for the energy for the magic to be in place, and so it can affect you and affect your environment. So you create a talisman for love, for friendship. For example, you walk around with it. If everything goes according to plan, you might get more attention from people. You might have people coming up and talking to you more. You might, when you make requests of people, you might find that you are granted their favor much more than before you had the talisman. So I hope that clears things up for you. Another way, if we're talking about amulets and talismans, simple way, amulets are defense and talismans are for offense. All right, friends. Well, that is what I had to talk with you about today. I hope that you all are having a good holiday season. Please subscribe and like. Check out the Etsy store. I do have a Saint Expedite attunement if you want that to help charge your Saint Expedite work, your talismans, for example, if you decide to create one. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.